Everything you see here is strictly informational. Forex is a high-risk business. Please do not place trades with more money than what you don't have. Please do not trade other people's money. Do not borrow any money than what you cannot trade with. And please take everything that I say as a personal opinion. I am not considered a financial advisor. I'm not considered a broker. I am just one here simply recording my journey along learning the markets.
Alright everybody, what's up? It is me, Ted, once again with Bodies and Wicks, and I just wanted to give you a quick update. It is now Monday, October 12th, as it was a bank holiday here in the US, and that bank holiday was Columbus Day. I'm calling it Columbus Day because that's what it is. It's Columbus Day. But it's the guy who had a lot of courage to take a fleet of to basically go to a king and ask for a bunch of money and say, I'm going to a different place, and try to find some place. What he did here was horrible, of course, but he was the person that basically discovered this place, and that's all I'm gonna. Well, he didn't really discover it. There was some other guy, some Viking, that I guess discovered it before that, and probably some Asians before that. But he was the first to actually probably explore this area. So that's why we give a salute to Columbus on Columbus Day. So salute to Columbus. Anyways, back to the task at hand, the charts, and I'm just gonna go over all of them, all the videos that I went through last night. I'm not going to go through each I'm going to have a video on each individual one about what happened, because not much happened today. So we'll just go through the ones that did happen, and we'll go from there. And first, again, looks like I got to get my pages back on track, because for some reason it looks like Google has decided not to show up as part as my charts for some reason. Give you 1 second here, folks. I am trying to figure out why this is not showing up on my software. And as soon as I can figure that out, I will be right back with you. Let's go back to OBS. Alright, and to cancel. And there it is. Alright, just takes a little bit of finagling, and that's about it. So now let's just go ahead and head on over to the chart, shall we? Alright, well, this isn't anything to worry about. This is just a commodities chart I was looking at just before the end of the day. So first, what I'll do is I will go ahead and jump on the euro. That is the one that I have been most anticipating. So Forex, let's go to the EURUSD. As you can see, last night I did put in my limits and whatnot, and for buy and sell limits. I think you all might know my position about what I think is going to happen. And as you can see, since the start of yesterday, which has been right here, right, so this goes from August 9th to August 11th, as you can see down at the bottom, and you can see the gap. That is about as far as we have gotten, and it means absolutely nowhere. Let me see how many pips that is. Let me see how many daily pips we got out of today. All right, so let's just go with the bottom here, and let's go to the top. And you know what? That's not too bad. 34 daily pips. And you know what? I did have a limit set. I had the limit set for like right here. Right? Is where I had my, hold on, now that I have that on, I have no idea where that line just went to. Oh, it went to right here. Alright, so I had my limit set for like right here, and it got just near that limit, and it didn't hit it. And just to prove to you guys, I did have a limit set. Just in case it did go back down, I am going to go and prove to you guys that I did have a limit set. So here we go. There it is. There is my my limit. As you can see, it's running across the top of those two I guess you could say whatever the equal highs are. You can see the buy limit, it's only a 0.01. I was just gonna see if I was gonna be lucky enough to catch it, and then that didn't happen. So since it didn't happen, I was looking at where I was trying to catch, right? And I was trying to catch this. Let's see this last up candle, the green one, and this is on a 1 hour chart, right? So I was trying to catch this last green candle at the very tip of it. I was trying to catch that, and I thought if I could catch that, I would be able to continue going back up. But instead, what I really needed to look for was just that. I just needed to look for that. Actually the last up candle before going back down on a 15-minute chart. If I would have got that, I would have gotten just below that, and I would have actually caught that buy limit. And if I would have caught that buy limit, then what would have happened? I would have gotten, let's see how many pips I would have gotten out of that. That's if I would have exited out of the right time. I know 30 pips was the max of the day, but definitely was not the max of what I would have gotten. It would have been more like somewhere close. You know, I probably could have got about 20 pips out of that today. Anyways, we are still going sideways because today was a bank holiday. So nothing at all happened with the EURUSD. GBPUSD, you know, I had my buy limit set. And you know what? Man, here's the thing. I don't know if they're going to happen. I don't know if I set the wrong thing, because as with EURUSD, GBPUSD also has this same kind of problem issue, I guess you could say. Here, let me go to my charts and turn off my positions and orders, because it's not like it really matters anyway. I don't know how many times I change every time I come on here. This is a different one, I swear, or it's the same exact GBPUSD. I swear I change it up every time, and I don't know where exactly I am, because it always changes my charts right back to where I had it like probably 2 weeks ago. Right, I haven't changed my charts, and I changed my charts multiple times, but for some reason it keeps changing them back, and I can't get them to stop changing it. So anyways, I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this is. I think this goes from week to week. I'm not even looking for that. I was looking for a pullback, right? And if I actually go to show two positions, that's probably one thing I actually do need to do, is open that show positions back up. Well, I actually don't have any positions, so show orders. If I do go to show orders, I am expecting a pullback back to here, and the reason I'm expecting a pullback back to here is because that is the last order block, and that we have right in this area going back up. But the thing is that I do have this orange line drawn straight across, and I had it drawn straight for a reason, because it was to represent equal highs, right? And so since it did break those equal highs, it came back down, it tested those equals highs, and now this is support. So I'm afraid that I may have not gotten the entrance because I didn't think about the equal highs as being support, and it coming back down a little bit further to get a buy limit. So I'm afraid I may have missed my buy limit. But then again, GBPUSD is kind of very volatile whenever things get going with it. So I don't know. I mean, this is a 40 pip difference here. I'm not for sure if I want to play with a 40 pip difference. If I am, I'm just gonna, where would the stop loss be? If I did do this, it would probably be somewhere around here, 40 pips anyway. So I would just go to here, and then I would lose money, and then I would go here, and then I would hopefully make that money back plus more. But at least for this one, my mega one is not a sell. This one, my mega one, is a buy. So I'll probably be up around the London session to see what it comes down to. To see if it's going to come down to this area again, or if it's going to give me some other kind of optimal trade entry, or a second optimal trade entry, and we'll see if we go from there. If we do get some kind of second optimal trade entry, let me switch this over to actually a 15-minute chart. If we do get some other optimal trade entry from this as being support, it looks like it is going to come in, well, it looks like it may have already made its optimal trade entry already, because it looks like it's made another order block. Looks like it's already made another order block from here to here, and it's already came down as it went through that order block, so it may have already missed the GBP buy on that as well. I haven't been paying attention to these lately, just because it has been a slow day. But if it were to come down, right, the last up candle before going back down is right here at the 70.5, which is this big or the last down candle, I guess you could say, before going up, would probably be the same candle anyway. These candles right here at the 70.5 marker, that's where I think we'd probably be heading to. I'm gonna have to be up during the London session to see if this is going to be the order block, or if this is the order block and I already missed my chance. Generally, that's not what happens. Usually, it forms a little bit lower than that, but it looks like this. What this looks like, the sell model. So I think we're going to get down to the original. And what I mean by sell model, if you ever watch ICT sell model, you usually have one area of accumulation, you move up, you have another area of accumulation, you move up, and usually this area of accumulation isn't really that long. It's usually pretty quick and moves back down, but it moves back down just above the other one, and then what it'll do is it'll move down in between the two. So I could get faked out. It could move down in between the two here, or it could actually move down to right below these two, and then after that it could move down back to here. So there's a lot of uncertainty that I have right now, having with Mr. Cable, and not many pips left to go before and I think it's going to actually stop and turn around and give a pretty decent pullback. So that being said, we'll go ahead and check on the USDCAD, which that is actually going in my favor. Why is my analysis for USDCAD not on here? I have no idea, because I'm actually in a current trade on USDCAD. There we go. Now if you could just click on it, it goes to the right one, even though it was already on USDCAD. That was really weird. See, the trading view just like it has a mind of its own, I swear. So not only I have a trading view, I think order on this, I do, and it's actually a little bit better than my actual order, which is quite funny. Where is my actual position on this? It doesn't matter. Either way, what I did is I found the weekly order block, right? So down here, you missed my video yesterday, this big green area is a weekly order block back from December, right? And if you go back to the very beginning, or from December, if you go back to beginning of December, it dips back down into it, right? And I show how we could have actually caught this move at the almost very perfect entry. And it has to do with this level right here, this 1.2800 level. That is an institutional level that I have learned from the Inner Circle Trader. Meaning what that means is that banks like to use 3 different types of levels: the 200, the 800, I guess you could say 4: the 200, the 500, the 800, and the all zeros level. All right, those are the levels they like to use, just because they're banks and they don't want to use 0.679544 numbers. They want to use big fat round numbers. So what you would do is that, since this is the closest level, right, that is outside of the order block, or outside of the weekly order block, right, what you do is you take the Fibonacci, you start it here, and you go to the nearest swing high prior to it. So, and I had struggles with this. I wasn't for sure which one to go to. Either one would have been fine. You would have caught either one. I think this one probably would have been the best. It's the lower of the 2 swing highs, and you usually want to enter at the 0.62 mark, or at the 0.62 retracement point, just so you know you have an entry, right? So that would have given you the perfect entry. If you would have entered at this swing high, which was just above it, right, you would have got in at exactly at the 0.70.5. That would have been the perfect one, because that's exactly where you usually want to aim for as far as a perfect entry is concerned. That being said, I am struggling with the idea of this high that we have currently made, that made here, did that swing high actually beat out this swing high or this swing high? I mean, I guess it beat it one of the swing highs enough to make a higher market structure, to move. So that being said, I want to go to the 1 hour and take a look at this, because we kind of have a similar thing going on. Is that we have a swing high here, right? And you also have a swing high here. This high that the UCAD came to recently, and this is back, late September, a couple weeks ago. This swing high here, it broke one of the swing highs. It didn't break both of them. So my question is is that going to give it enough to want to continue to move higher? I believe so. I believe the answer is yes. I believe once you break one swing high, and as long as we don't get below this low, then we're not going to see prices get any lower. We're going to actually see them get higher and probably break this swing high again. Or we could see them come up, almost exactly to the old high. Or what you could do is that you could actually see it come to the next bearish order block. But what I think could happen is what I have mindset as is I have mindset as an institutional level at 1.33400, which is just below the current swing high. It's also at a bearish order block. So a bearish order block would be the last up candle before the largest down move, right? So that would be this candle right here. So if you can't see that, let me zoom in a little bit closer. It would be this candle right here. I would probably actually need to move it down just a little bit more to 3939, but I like the 3400 just because, again, it is an institutional level, and generally institutional levels usually like to get to right to that point. I might move it down 5 pips, just so I know for sure that it is an exact exit. Otherwise, what you're looking at is that if you are going, it has turned around, it is on its way up. So I am starting to get in the blue here, I guess you could say, the green, whatever it is. This could actually be your first stoppage, right? Especially if the dollar is to go lower. You could actually only see it trade up to about 31.7, and that's about it, 1.317, and we are started at about 313. So that still could be about a 35-40 pip gain. Not too shabby, to say the least. But if I'm gonna be holding on to this since last night, I would like to see a lot higher of a gain than that. Your next level that you'd be looking for would be the 3273 area. Again, that's because you do have an order block forming right in here before it goes south. So as you can see, as these go up and down, up and down, up and down, what they're doing is they're accumulating orders, and those orders are going to be sell orders as they continually go up, right, before they break down. So there's another order block in there, and this actually happens a couple times throughout this drop down here on this swing low. So you had that swing low, but you had all this in here. This in here really doesn't matter what's gonna happen with the price action. It would if some of these spikes right here, if there was like a 5-minute candle that was gonna run right through those, and it came back up to them, then that would be basically the protection of some sell stops. But it looks like it's already traded below them. Sell stops probably haven't been protected, so I would say they definitely come back up through those. One thing you could also be looking out for is this right here, because the exact same situation I just talked about could happen right here on UCAD. So you had these just sell right through, and it came back up, but it didn't come back up all the way. So you could possibly see this come back up to this level, which is 1.33522. You could see it come back up to that level and then turn around and go back down. just because that is a breaker, and sometimes those have a tendency to be bullish or bearish. I mean, so a lot could actually happen with UCAD. It's going to be something I'm going to have to watch closely. I'm just glad it has actually gotten out of the red. It didn't get anywhere near my stop loss, thank God. I thought I had a pretty good stop loss. I probably could have lowered it a little bit, or made it a little bit tighter, but I'm gonna leave it as it is, and we'll have to see what is gonna have to play out with USCAD. So yeah, anyways, that's what's up with USCAD. What else did we go over last night? Oh yeah, we went over SPX. Wow, what a day SPX had. That just turned, I thought that was SPX. It was going to be SPX, but somehow clicking that just turned into USCAD. So and if anybody remembers me and doing this last night, I deleted all of this stuff from here last night as well. Let me click on something else. Let me click back. It's still here. Okay, I thought maybe well, never mind. I just saved it. So I know for a fact that what I did is I completely deleted everything off of here, which I'm just going to do again. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't do that because there is a lot of good information I have on the very left side of the chart. But these are from earlier today. These green lines and this white and red line, that actually is from earlier today, which is surprising. Why does it keep doing that? I have no idea. So anyways, whenever I was talking about this last night, let's see if we actually, what I do is I actually put in the session breaks on these. So if we go to appearance, put in session breaks, then what I'll do is I'll usually go into the 5-minute, and then before each session, I will put in the time that the New York Stock Exchange is going to open, because that's when these start trading. And I'll put it in just 5 minutes before that, just so I have I know when the last 5 minutes is, before it actually does its actually move and starts trading. So here is this one, for example. And I went through those examples last night about how, especially yesterday, it kept trading higher, and why it was trading higher, and how you can catch those moves and whatnot. Because if you set your high here, it goes above it, it closes above it, eventually it's going to get above it. And then session closes, and then you have a session high. Although, yeah, this was it. This was today's here. I accidentally moved that. So here's what's today's. Is that we had the session high, right? And then before we even started it, it actually got above the session high. So as soon as we started the stock market, we were already at the high. So at that point, I knew we were going to get high. It was just going to continue to go higher. The question is that when was there going to be a pullback? If there was going to be a pullback, how big would that pullback be? So I stayed out of the SPX today, and because I did not have a clue as to when or what would happen with the SPX. But if I would have, done what I had said was going to do, I would have actually put a fib here and then ended it here, because if you check this out, look down at the bottom, look, nails both the entries, nails the 79 and the 70.5 exactly. So those are the two entries that and that's just going from the most recent session high, right, and then finding the most recent session low, with the closest order block. And this would definitely, in SPX, I would consider this an order block, just because it is a pretty large, even though it is a larger wick, it is a down candle before a very explosive move. So I'd definitely consider this the bottom of it, and then you go to the session high, and then that's what I thought was going to happen. And I thought it was actually going to stay a little bit below this before. You know what? I'm actually got the wrong time on this. So give me a second, because my time is 8:30. So here's what happened. This is actually what happened. Because I didn't pay attention to this, and I should have paid attention to this. And actually, no, we actually talked about this yesterday. So I know what I'm talking about. Well, yeah, actually, we didn't talk about this yesterday. But we talked something similar about this yesterday. But we didn't talk about this exact same one, because this is today. But it was coming down, and as it was coming down, I wasn't paying attention, mainly because I was still focused on the EURUSD. But again, if I would have actually done what I had said I was going to do, it's like I said in previous videos, this is exactly what I would have done, and would have caught the optimal trade entry, 20 minutes into the end of the day, because SPX just took off, and it just got, I don't even know how many points it got today, but it was insane. It was a lot, and I was honestly very surprised. I did not see that coming. I expected it to go the opposite way, to be honest, because it had already been going high. But if we get from there to here, 484 points is how many points it went up today. That is a lot for a day. And if you're just risking 0.01 at 10 cents, that would have been $484 for you, minus the spread and everything. So probably somewhere around 482, something like that. But still, that would have been a phenomenal day. I wish I would have paid attention to that, and because I would have had a day like no other, and that's for sure. And the thing is that those targets that we talked, I talked about, the 127%, 162%, the pivot, it even got past the pivot, it actually got all the way up to 3 times the amount of what it was supposed to be. And if I would add another one, I'm pretty sure it would have got to about 327%, which is just actually, phenomenal. I don't know where it came from, and if you go over here and you go like the news headlines, and it's like, oh, it's all about the stimulus, and in hopes of stimulus, and I highly doubt that people are putting a lot of money in the stock market in hopes that the government is going to continue bailing them out. Like, I really don't. I mean, but maybe that could be it. I don't know. But the thing is wouldn't you want to wait? I mean, I don't know. I guess you could put money in it now. But the thing is, if you put it in it now and then it doesn't actually grow, you're just losing money, and then you got to pull it out if it doesn't happen, and then you just lost a bunch of money. So I just don't think the talks of the stimulus is exactly what is causing this. I don't really know what could be causing this, because it definitely wasn't a drop in the dollar. You know, the dollar barely even moved today. So, and usually it's the drop in the dollar that causes these kind of things. So, I honestly could not give you a good answer if I wanted to as to what was causing, you know, this huge rally that SPX had today. And Nasdaq did the same. I mean, I think Nasdaq was even larger. It was a pretty large. I don't even know where these Fibonacci's came from or where any of these came from. But let's see, we had the session breaks, and then so if we had the session breaks and we had 8:30 this morning, it would have been right around here. And then same kind of scenario. You know, here's the most recent swing low. Start here, go to the most recent swing high, and boom, came right back down. Same thing, 70.5, and then exploded on upwards. Right, so and again, you know, as you can see after the 5 minutes, a 5-minute candle, you know, like I said, if anything, if you're worried about if this is actually going to get past the 5 minutes, or get past the most recent high, then what you got to do is wait for the 5-minute candle to close above that. Once the 5-minute candle closes above that high, then you know for sure it's going to continue going higher. It's just a rule of thumb. For some reason, it's always happened. It may give another pullback, but hopefully you're in a good position that it's not going to pull all the way back to where you were before or even lower. Otherwise, you just get another better entry. To be honest, if it actually does pull back further, I would say that could even be better, because then you get another better entry, if not the same exact one, because you know it's going to continue going higher. So let me see how many. It looks like it almost got to 3 times the amount it was, it got to, but it definitely got just over 2. So over 200% extension is where the Nasdaq got to today. How many pips Nasdaq rolled in from low to high today? Let's see what that is here. $3,286. So again, if you just had a $200 account and you put in and you risk 2% and you put in a 0.01, and you would have saw something like this and knew almost exactly where to make sure your entry was going. You could have put in almost at the exact right time and it never looked back, and you would have only been in almost no drawdown and could have made a lot of money. So that was the Nasdaq for you. Even though I didn't go over the Nasdaq yesterday, I felt like it was important to go over today because it was definitely the leader of the indices today, which is fine, because actually what I what I rely on a lot, especially when I look at the Nasdaq, is the XLK. So the XLK is kind of like is the tech sector of the S&P. So it's kind of like the Nasdaq, just a little bit different. But this is mainly for my investments rather than trading. So whenever I saw the XLK was doing good, I knew the Nasdaq had to be doing good, because they're both pretty much the same thing, just a little bit different. But anyways, just wanted to bring that up. Other things I brought up last night. One thing, I know I talked about Bitcoin for just a little bit. Wasn't for sure exactly where Bitcoin was going to get. I thought it would get down to, I think I put this green marker here, because that was the last down candle before going back up. because I thought it would hit that and then continue going upwards. It looks like it did hit that exactly. And now it has gone up, but it hasn't gone up a whole lot. Not enough to be noticeable anyway. But wait, this is NASDAQ. I could have swore whenever I clicked this, it said Bitcoin. I swear this thing changes on me. This thing is just, it's going nuts. It is actually going nuts. Anyways, let's get back over to crypto and let's check out Bitcoin. But I thought there was something similar that Bitcoin did have that had something over here to where it was a down candle just before an up, and I thought I was going to hit that and then turn around and go back the other way. And I think it was here. I thought I would come down to this last down candle and go back up. Looks like it hasn't done it yet. And I'm on a 5-minute chart. So if we want to look at if we want to look at Bitcoin on like a very, very large basis, we can see what's been happening for quite some time. And it looks like we've still been in consolidation since Friday. Looks like we did have a little bit of a jump today, which is surprising. And it looks like it's doing that consolidation again. So it looks like it did do the jump consolidation, came back. Looks like it hit support, and let's see if that support will hold. The reason I have these two drawn in here is because of this right here. This is a breaker, right? So I have a breaker right here and right here. So there's two breakers that for me would be bearish. So as soon as they would hit that, it would turn around and go back the other way. I should have actually put money in that because that's exactly what it did. It hit those breakers and it turned around and dropped. It did get a little bit higher. I want to see actually where this high went and what was the reason why it stopped from getting any higher. If there was a reason, there was some kind of resistance up here. No really good reason. It looks like it just kind of pumped a lot, and it looks like people got enough money and then just started getting out of there. But it looks like the breaker definitely did its job. But until Bitcoin hits 12,000 or more and stays above there, or not 12,000, sorry, 16,000 or more and stays above there, I don't see Bitcoin staying completely bullish. This is actually, to me, more of a bearish sign that it did hit the breaker, it turned around and came back down. It did hit support, but we'll have to see if support holds and move on from there. Ethereum, it actually did it. I knew it would, but it had to actually go a lot lower before it would actually take off. Wow, this is surprising. So I knew Ethereum was going to actually break. It's actually 378, 380 resistance that it had been having for quite some time. I didn't expect it to actually get as low as 366 to do it. I think the lowest, what I had is 368, which would have been this box right here. I think the bottom of here is where I said it was actually probably going to go before it actually turned around and went the other way. But it looks like it actually did go down to 366 before it actually turned around and took off and actually made a new high. Looks like it came down. It almost looks like it did kind of test support. So it looks like it could be right now creating a accumulation zone right through here. Once we break it down, especially in the 1 hour, We'll kind of see how that happened. But it came down to, let me see what the lowest point was right here. And I'm sure once we get down to the 15-minute, there will probably be a decent sized bullish order block. So I throw it on the bottom of there. I go all the way across. There it is. There is your last red candle down. Actually, it would have probably been this one, because these are both kind. But this would have been the last one before the explosive move. It looks like it went just past that, and it looks like it touched this one. So I would have said this whole area definitely would have been the order block area to watch out for. The reason I was thinking it was going to come down here is because in the 1 minute, there's actually one red candle down in here before the explosive move up. So it looks like it did trade through that, hit those other ones before it decided to actually make its explosive move up. So those are the kind of things you got to look out for. You got to look out for areas to where especially people with large accounts may have placed their last buy orders or sell orders. And you got to think with people with large money, whenever it is selling, they're actually buying, and when they're selling to buy. So they're selling, and they're selling to get right here just enough to buy, right? Because they can, once they're selling and they can get down to here, they have enough money to where they can just turn around and flip the switch and then use all that money that they just sold and turned around and put it in a buy, so that way they can go the other way. And that way, when it comes back down to that area, they can protect their asset, and then just put in a ton more money and buy again, and then convince the entire public to go with them, and then boom, there it goes, it takes off. So it looks like that's what happened with Ethereum. So I'm glad it actually finally made it above resistance. And the last one I think I talked about, actually one of the other ones I think I talked about, definitely wasn't the last one, was gold. And the reason I talked to, I said I really had no idea where gold was going to go. I said what I thought was going to do is I thought it was going to drop. That's the only thing I said. And I said I didn't really have any kind of excuse or any kind of idea as to what gold was going to do. I just thought it was going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, because there was two different angles I was looking at this with gold. One was this area here, right, and that would have been a bearish order block, and then another one was right here, because this would have been a bullish order block, right, and right here is when we probably started the video somewhere last night. Let's see if I can't get somewhere closer. So I thought I probably would have got about down to about here, because that would have been the last bullish order block. So it looks like it did, trade up through. And now it's actually came back and traded down through that last bullish order block. So, and it didn't hit that and turn back around and go back the other way. So it is going down, so which is what I thought it would do, mainly because I did see the dollar commodity start to actually strengthen. It just didn't do anything today, because today was Martin Luther King Day. So tomorrow may be the day. Tomorrow may be the day that we see it start to fall. So to maybe get your orders in now, put your stop losses above 1940, and we'll see if we'll let it ride down to about 1918. No, I'm kidding. I don't really know. Or I was gonna say 1818. I don't know. I'll try to come up with a better gold analysis when I got one. But as for now, I'm kind of on the same gravy train. I really don't really have a good gold analysis for you. You know, if I were to use like, you know, a fib kind of scenario, I would say, you know, since this is the last explosive move that we have from gold, I would say use probably this to the very top of here. We had, and here's the thing, is that we have kind of, you know, gold kind of staying up here, meaning to me it's accumulating sell positions, right? If it's staying up at a top at somewhere, you know, it didn't dip back down, you know, and down to here, and then like it go, you know, when I'm saying dip back down, I mean it didn't ride a wave up and then dip back down and then, you know, kind of hang around here for a little bit, because that would have been skeptical to me as to have been, looks like they're actually, you know, building up buy positions before they go up again. Instead, it got to a high, right, and now it's kind of been moving around in this kind of range-ish area, which to me says it's accumulating sell positions, and now it looks like it's finally starting to sell off. If that is the case, I would look for it to probably come right around to here, this 70.5 level, which is also interesting, because if we look at the last up candle before it goes down, or the last down candle before it goes up, it's probably right here in this order block area. So that's why I would think it would hit before it went the other way. And if it did go the other way, it might get stuck in a range, and it could do the exact opposite. It could go from here to, let's say this was the low that it hit, right? And then it would do is it would come back up, and it could possibly, you know, here it looks like right around here is the 75 area, so it could come back and hit the same order blocks here and then turn around and go right back down. So that's the thing with order blocks, sometimes they keep you in a range, and I think that's probably what you know, gold could be doing. Gold could be definitely be keeping in a range. And mainly because we're not getting really any good information. Well, there's no information that's coming out of the COT report. Looks like what we're getting out of the open interest is that the interest is going down, which is actually signifying a buy, which is interesting. But it's not gonna, I mean, it's not signaling a buy yet. It'll probably signal a buy once it's oversold, so it actually could come down to this, you know, 70.5% mark, which would probably be around 1896, somewhere around there, before we see a buy. And I think with the stochastic, hasn't actually signaled a buy yet, but who knows? It may signal a buy probably about the same time this is being oversold. So that's all I got for you tonight, and that is my update from all the videos that I did yesterday. And thank you again for watching. Appreciate it very much. If you got some time and you want to go ahead and do something cool for me, hit that subscribe button, you know, hit the alerts notification. Best thing you could do is like the video. If you like the video, that tells YouTube that, hey, I like this video. It makes my numbers look good. You know, tell your people in your inner circle that they're trading about it. You know, if they're trying to trading these things, maybe it'll help them. Maybe it'll spark ideas in them and what they can do with their trading. I'm not advocating anybody go out there and actually trade with their own real money. I'm just simply here to provide information that I find in the market that could be useful to you. What you do with that information is up to you, and I hope you do it responsibly. And again, that's all I got. I'll come back with an update hopefully tomorrow. And as always, just always to remember to keep your pants on. keep them on.